Mr. Mo again on Mr. Mo Cyber Talks. In a previous video, I demonstrated the logical operation of a security operations center. That video had few definitions and boxes and lines which explain the workflow of a SOC or a security operations center, as you would call. Now today I will be demonstrating a real-time operation of the SIEM platform and associated components. As I explained in my previous video, SIEM is the foundation of every SOC. So what does SIEM do? SIEM actually gets data and logs from all the systems in place, such as routers, switches, SaaS applications, endpoints, and normalize into its format so it is easier to report and present it to SOC analysts. And in a SOC, in a 24/7 SOC, usually there are people who are looking at this information which have been ingested, and these people are called level 1 and level 2 analysts. So what level 1 analysts usually do will keep an eye on these things called dashboards. On my screen today, you can see one of the dashboards which are there in a SIEM platform. A SIEM platform will contain many dashboards as this, which are used for different categories. In this instance, this dashboard shows how many failed attempts per user. Right. So just to summarize, we have a SOC in place, there's a SIEM in place which is used by the SOC analyst, which is now got data from different endpoints, firewalls, routers and switches, and now it's presenting to the analyst in the form of graphs and tables listed here. And the analysts who are really careful in looking at these graphs and events and their tables, they keep a close eye, and if they pick up something, they will start working on it or assign to a different tier. Now in this instance, I will show you, okay, these are real-time graphs, and this particular analyst will pick up, okay, I see a high number of failed attempts from one particular user. Usually high number of failed attempts is not good because that could represent a brute force attack, or someone has forgotten the password. But in this instance, if someone has forgotten the password, they won't keep on trying for this many times. Therefore, the next action what the cybersecurity analyst would do is, okay, they have the username details, and they will go into this section called the search. And then there are SIEMs which got its own native languages to do searches. For example, Splunk, the most popular SIEM, uses language called SPL, and the Microsoft version of SIEM, which is Azure Sentinel, uses the Katsu query language or KQL, and so on. There are other SIEMs which have its own languages. In the product which I'm using, it got a language which is very natural to our English. So all I have to do here is I go in, I can type the user like this and copy and paste, and then select the amount of logs which I want to search. I would search for the last 30 days and hit query. And the other common thing is most of the SIEM products will have a similar output in the search. They'll have a timeline where the events have occurred and also the detailed description of it. Now you will see there have been lockouts happened in the last 30 days on these times. So what I can do is it shows all these details here. Now this shows it has been reported by an endpoint, which is like a desktop server or something. And now if I want to see what is going on, I can view all the details. This is actually the rollout, but these are the headers. So what has happened, I can scroll down and see it has failed, and it will also have why it has failed down the line as well. So this is what the security analyst would be looking, right? So you know it has someone is trying with the unknown username and a password. So this definitely shows me that someone is doing a brute force. So that's why it is considered as. And further, if you see, it is reported from a network address like this, right? So that's one. And now I have I'll demonstrate another dashboard where it shows anomalies. For example, compromised credentials. When an analyst sees this, he would like to investigate. In order to investigate, he wants to see what's really going on. So he see a user like Bhana have some unauthorized access or unusual access. So what they do is they go back to the search and do a search for user Bhana and for 60 days and hit search. It will go through all the logs, and let's click on one of these and see what happens. There you go. So this is quite informative. So what is happening is it has detected the user Hannah has tried to execute a Mimikatz, which is mainly used to gain access or mainly by hackers. So that's why that has considered as a security concern. So this has all the details. It got some suspicious command line activities, and there you go. So that's how an analyst would pick up something by looking at a dashboard and do a search using the search feature. And on the new SIEMs which are available, they have these advanced analytics features. So the SIEM vendors have gone to another level where it will make it more user-friendly for the analyst to pick up things. Now, with these advanced analytics, it shows unusual behavior. Once again, you can customize these dashboards the way you want, but I want to show you one of the features. Say, for example, it has considered one of these users as with a risk score and a risk reasons, right? And further, it will go and tell you why it considers as a high risk user, which is it has 14 times a file has been written suspect of ransomware on host. So that's the main reason. And you can even see where it started. And if you click on the timeline, it will take you through how it all, where it logged in, how they got the file in, and so on. So these are the new features which will help the analyst in order to investigate. So these things will help to reduce the mean time to detect and mean time to respond in a SOC, right? And also these are really good for any forensics or root cause findings or reporting to the users or the higher management of what really happened. And also the new SIEM tools have other features such as these. How your current setup complies with the known MITRE ATT&CK framework, how it compares, what measures you have taken place or what is missing in your environments. It literally shows a coverage map of the MITRE ATT&CK framework with the implemented controls you have. Also, certain stuff go one step further, even by suggesting what you need to do in order to get to green. For example, if you pick something like that, you can go to see details and it will have some recommendations. Right. Now, the key here is, as I said, in order to get information like this, as I said in my previous video, we have to ingest data from meaningful locations in the enterprise. For example, if you want to see a timeline like this, you need to get information from your endpoint. You need to get information from your routers. You need to get it from a firewall. You need to get it from your email threat detection. You might need to get it from your web proxy. And you don't need many logs as much as possible, but a real balance would be helpful in order to get a great outcome like this. So with that in mind, I think you got a good understanding what analysts are doing. It's not an easy job. It's really critical. Nowadays there are AI tools built in to make their life easier to detect unusual activity. People will miss some. That's what causes false positives. But these things really improve your security posture of an organization. Also, final note, I use this demo platform which is provided by Exabeam. It does not contain any real life data. These are all anonymized data used for demonstrations. This is the reason why I use this environment, is because it's really hard to show using actual cybersecurity operations center, because it contains personal information of users. I hope this was informative for everyone. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel. And if you have any other questions or any other requests you want to have videos on, please feel free to make a comment. Thank you very much.